We weaned without you. I'm so sorry, but we did. We had to. It was last minute. Usually we make a whole weaning video, which we still will with the last 5. But the oldest 2, let me get them outside, and then I'll explain to you why we did it. Lucifer, are you gonna be sweet boy? I know, Miss Bobbi's been the mean one. She's been the one kicking you. Everyone has made you have a bad rap, but you're really the sweet boy. You are. You're just big. You're just big. So for those that don't know, Moose is our oldest baby of the year, and he's also sold. So he will be going to live in Ohio once his owners come pick him up. I think it's gonna be more towards the end of June, if not early July. We had plans of weaning him in July, not in June. And that was a plan that we were gonna do Moose, Bobbi, and Woody all together. But turns out, because we noticed that Moose was a little stiff for a couple of days, we had the vet out, we kept his owners in the know, and we saw that he had a little bit of inflammation in his growth plates, which can also be known as fasciitis. It's not uncommon in big foals. There's not really a cause other than they're growing, and it's causing inflammation with them being outside running around and just causing a little bit of growth pains. Like, it's just growing pains essentially, but you can cause some problems if you let that go and don't help it out. So what we were doing is we limited his grain a bit. We also were told, hey, he's old enough. Why don't you just wean him? That would really help. And so that's what we did. We noticed literally the next day was the Farmer's Almanac signs. It said, hey, today's the day to wean. So we said, let's go ahead and do Moose and Bobbi so that Moose had a friend. Bobbi was a big chunky girl as well, and it just seemed like they were both mature enough, and it went really well. Bobbi is not giving me the time of day, and for those that don't know, Bobbi is a filly. Okay, her name is Bobbi, her mom's Ricky Bobbi. And a lot of you were noticing that Bobbi hasn't really been at the forefront of content for the last, I don't know, 6 weeks or so. And that's because it was just a really weird circumstantial thing. Like, her mom got sick, had a fever, had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. And then at the very end of the 2 weeks, she got out for like 2 or 3 days and immediately got a stone bruise. And so we're like, oh, Bobbi has a stone bruise, let's keep her up for a few days. Well, that stone bruise turned out to be a pretty gnarly abscess. And sometimes abscesses can take only a few days to kind of remedy, and sometimes they can just drag on and on. And that was the case with Bobbi. It just took way longer than we expected to heal and to work its way out. And now she looks great, but she really didn't get to spend the last 6 weeks with the other foals like we had hoped she would. And it just seemed like her mom would do better because she was being a little bit dragged down in her weight if we went ahead and weaned. And so it worked out for the best that these are both of the foals that are sold. So they are going to be leaving at, again, the end of the month or maybe the 1st of July, and they can be buddies for one another. Okay, Bobbi's first. We're leaving halters on today since they were left in, and I imagine they're going to be a little crazy. Crazy girl, fancy legged girl. Look at her. Oh my gosh, Bob, Roberta. Don't go make a whole thing with Moose over there and get Alyssa kicked. Look at how much bigger he is. Oh, Moose, you're gonna give us a show too. I told you, they've been done cooped up. They're ready to be out, especially Bob. You talking? They're fancy babies. So Bobbi is by Hey Good Looking and out of my mare Gone Commando, but because I purchased Ricky in foal and we worked it out that her previous owners retained ownership of the foal, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to keep Bobbi. And then Moose was sold, and he is going to a fantastic show home in Ohio. He is by my stallion VS Code Red, and out of the mare that I don't own, only Blue Couture. You know, Moose, I really don't see you trot that much. You kind of either walk around lazily or canter everywhere. And I mean, that's great. That means you love to canter and you're athletic, but I would love some trot. Look how handsome he is. Oh my goodness. Look at you. Bobbi, you come give us a pose too. Look how big Moose is that he's just putting his head over like a freaking adult. Oh, they're giving each other kisses and scratches. Bobbi, you can be sweet, girl. Oh, now they're gonna be friends. Okay, that's pretty dang cute. You sweet things. You sweet things. Okay, well, this is boring. They gave us 0.5 seconds of zoomies, and then they're done. And honestly, that's what we want. We want boring babies because I don't even own them anymore. And like, if there's ever a time that I want boring, it's during weaning, right? So let's go ahead to the babies that are still on their mama's sides and do a little update because some of them look real different. Let's go to the pasture. Okay, we're out in the foal pasture right now with the 5 remaining foals who are still on their mama's side. So we've got Woody, who likes to insert himself into situations. We got Benedict up there on the ground, so he's lounging, he's having a great time. We've got Gunner and Cheyenne, who are best friends. Okay, they're best friends, but Cheyenne doesn't want you to know that she's best friends with Gunner. Gunner annoys her. And then we have Margot, who she's sometimes best friends with Cheyenne. They're also sisters, but she's a little more on the like mama's girl side, which makes sense. She's got mama issues, but not issues. You know what I'm saying? Like mama trauma, more so. She's got mama trauma, so she's up there with her mama. Anyway, Woody would be in here with us if possible. He really would. These babies will probably be weaned in like a month and a half, I would say. Like I'm shooting for early August. I'd like for him to stay as long as possible because he was the baby that had his little leggies wrapped. And so he wasn't able to come out with everybody until he was like 3 months old, 2.5, 3 months old. And it just would make my heart happy if he was able to like have a full 3 months, you know, hanging out with his mama and other babies and learning her dynamics and stuff. So this is Woody. He's not really giving me much to show you because he's so on top of us right now. But he is out of my thoroughbred mare Indy and by my stallion VS Code Red. We're gonna have to move. Let's go see Benedict because he's sleeping. He's sleeping like a sweet little baby boy. Like Benedict at this point, he's one of the oldest in this field. He is usually the titty baby. He's usually the one on his mama and she ain't nowhere to be found. He's just having him a grand old little time. Usually he's friends with Woody and he said, I just need me some alone time. I'm not sure if Lexi was a maiden when she had Benedict, but if she was, I'm happy to see that she's not so helicopter mommy and she's letting him go be by himself. Oh Lord. Okay. What are we doing? Those mare ears. That's hilarious. You tell him, Margot. We haven't gotten to see a whole lot of Benedict with the later babies, so that's an interesting dynamic. But this duo I was thinking was going to have the hardest time weaning. I think they're going to be okay. So one thing that makes me so happy, and she's going to make it hard to see because she's literally trying to climb in the back of the side-by-side right now. But Margot, being able to be out here with Gracie and do such simple things as lay in the grass and be in the sun and swat flies and do normal horsey things because we were so worried that she wasn't going to get to do those things. Her mama, Maggie, we were afraid wasn't going to be living. Like we had to take Margot away from Maggie because Maggie was foundering. She had had 2 colic surgeries. Like it was such a traumatic time at the very beginning of her life. And so now, you know, she was born at the very end of March, like the last day of March. So she's 2.5 months old. She's been with Gracie for like 2 months at this point. And it's wonderful to see. They're so at ease, I guess. There's no drama. The fact that it's just working is such a miracle and so beautiful to see. Okay. Big Teal 2.0 doesn't have a beep. Hold on. Girl, you got to get some better instincts. You just let me wallop you right then, or just about. So Cheyenne is the only full sibling in existence to my young stallion First Things First. She's so special. I did like a whole video on like TikTok and stuff about my reasoning for keeping 5 babies. Oh yeah. I'm keeping all 5 of these babies.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No.
I mean that I'm keeping them through the year they're born, and then we reevaluate every year after that. Okay, name every foal in this pasture right now, if you want to test.
I can't. I know. I was testing you. You had.
You were here for all their births.
What's
Yes.
that one?
What's this one?
I don't know.
We were literally just talking about her.
But I was locked in.
Gunner! Stop! Gunner is my only baby by Denver this year. So he is by my young stallion First Things First, and his mama is a homebred baby that I raised 11 years ago. Oh, hello! You're coming to say hello. I feel like we're in Jurassic Park.
I know.
Oh, look at them. Gunner, come here. So Annie, I love her so much. Raised her. And it's so special that she had a Denver baby this year and we get to watch him grow. So that was a big reason. I mean, I was really wanting to keep an Annie baby regardless, but the fact that it was by Denver just like solidified it. And so yeah, I'm keeping a Denver baby, my BS Code Red Thoroughbred baby, who's like, as you can see, he's a literal baby. My Denver full sister, and then Kirby's little sister. Margot, obviously I couldn't sell because she was freaking a miracle baby. Duh. And then Benedict cost a gajillion dollars. So I could not sell him either. Oh yeah, we're like in the danger zone. Easy. Easy. Look, he's being, oh my gosh. Gunner.
I think we can power through and go.
So we're gonna go to the mini farm and look at the mini babies. All that entails. If y'all could see what was happening right now. Gidget, leave them alone. We're trying to watch you and you're just like, you're too close. So now we're at the mini farm. Gidget is ready to go. So we're gonna let her go. To your left, you're gonna see Miss Jennifer or Virginia, or we need a bad girl name because her name's Ginny and she's been a bad girl this past weekend, okay? She has been kicking me, biting me. She only has one tooth, so that's the good thing. But these girls are growing like weeds. They are yet to be like real friends, but they are starting to interact a bit, which is so fun. This one, she has like walloped me the past couple of days, like both back legs, like especially when I was having to put some baby oil on her. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I'm gonna just slowly back away. Well, she can still hurt me. Look at the size. Like, I don't feel like on TikTok and stuff it really resonates.
Yeah, it doesn't.
How teensy weensy.
You really need to bring like a big horse and have them stand side by side.
How teensy weensy these things are. They're so tiny. So tiny.
So tiny.
So, these girls, I think she's just over 2 weeks now. Hi, Ginny. Ginny is Regina's daughter, her dad. We actually met last year. I think it's like, is it Casey or CK Maddox the kid? Or KD, I don't know. Something Maddox the kid. He's cool. He's a gray stallion. I don't think she's gonna be gray though, because Gidget's gonna be gray. That little girl right there, she has like gray goggles because her mama's gray, but her dad looks like Regina. He's a red and white pinto. She's Glenn's half sister actually. So, hello. See? Whoa. I told you. I told you. I told you she's bad. Girl, I'm leaving. See, no, we can't be friends if you're acting like that. You got me in my arm. Gidget is much nicer to me. We have friendship. She's a little bit older too. She's a couple weeks older than Ginny is. And she's always been a little more in your pocket. She's been a cat until this weekend. And then wallop her, Janice, tell her. Janice is the good babysitter. She didn't have a baby this year and she's been all up in the baby's business. But she hasn't wanted anything to do with me until this weekend. And then Gidget's always been my buddy. And so now I don't know if like Ginny just doesn't know what friendship is and thinks friends hurt each other. I don't know, but we don't do that here. Okay? No, stop. What is happening? What is happening? Janice. So, I don't know that this is Karen's last baby. Very, very high possibility that it is, and it could very well be her last filly. So I have pretty much decided that I'm keeping Gidget, at least to send her to training and see what happens, which is really exciting. Hi, sweetheart. Jury's out on Ginny. Okay, these girls, it's kind of hot. It's kind of the worst time to come visit them. So what we might have to do a little video with them here soon where we turn them out in the morning. Let's pop out and go check on the other mini foal of 2026, who is now a weanling. In this pasture, Glenn resides with Dolly. So we had to wean Glenn for excessive humping. And honestly, he was just getting too studdy. And he was over 4 months old, and it was just time. So we weaned him on the same day that we weaned Moose and Bobbi. He's done fantastic. Like, I think the horse within this whole weaning thing that took it the hardest was Coco. I was shocked that she was gonna miss her child, but she did. After like a day, they were all fine. He has really settled in to just chilling with Dolly. And I think Dolly was a fantastic choice because she's, I think, already pregnant. So she's not coming back into heat. She's not gonna like tease him. And then she also will not put up with crap. Like she would not put up with him biting her, mounting her, any of that stuff. But she's also not like mean to him. You know, it's a very good balance. So Glenn, he is going to be going to Canada at the end of the month because his new owner lives in Ontario, which is super duper exciting. So he's gonna go be a little show horse up there. And we are excited to watch him grow because I think she is gonna share him on socials. So once he moves there, I'll be sharing where he's going. I think he's a little mad at me that he's like not in the barn every day, that there's new babies. But he looks good. He looks fantastic. I'm very excited to see him grow up. So he's doing great. Now let's end the video. We're gonna go over 2 pastures to the goaties. And lastly, since like I said, this is just a baby update. We've just had a lot of horses up until now. Now we're gonna end with our 3 little doelings, Clover, Cricket, and Bizzy. Okay, well all the goats came except for the babies. So we gotta wait for the babies to realize that we're over here. Miss Bella, as it turns out, is gonna give us some babies in September. So she's got at least 2 cooking in here. We don't really know about Honey yet. Honey is my other little baby girl back here, who we think may have gotten bred on her 2nd heat cycle, which would have put her at being like too early in her pregnancy to check when we did. There's a whole episode about that if you want to go watch. So we're gonna recheck her, but even if we do just have Bella, we'll have at least 2 babies in September. And I don't know what I'm gonna do, y'all, because I'm keeping 2 out of the 3 doelings right now. And if she has a doeling, I don't know how I'm not gonna keep it. I'm in a pickle. I'm gonna have too many goats, because I kept you and your sister first, and then I kept those 2 girls who are up on the ladder, and then, hold on, I'm gonna let them come over here first, and then I'll show you who I'm keeping. So this is a great segue to say that the 2 that are climbing on top of Eli are the 2 that I'm keeping. And then Cricket, who wants nothing to do with me, she's over there on the slide. She's friendly enough. You can go pet her, but she's very much more like a mama's girl. Like she wants to be with Blossom most of the time. So Cricket is going to be living at Kendall's house. So Kendall's who I own their dad Taz with. She's had horses in training for me before. And so she has, like she's who I got Bella and Blossom and Buttercup from. Those, my OGs came from Kendall. And so she's never in all the years that I've had goats gotten a doeling from me, and she wanted one this year. So originally we had discussed Kendall taking Clover, which is that little chocolate and white one. But then she just became my best friend. And as you can see, she and Bizzy have never met a stranger. They love everyone. And Cricket, I love her coloring. She's gorgeous. She's amazing. But like, we just haven't become besties. And I had to choose one to let Kendall have because she wanted one. And I told her, so I was keeping my word. So anyway, Cricket is gonna go to Kendall. Probably here pretty soon. I was really hoping that those 2 baby girls would do this to me, but they They've chosen Eli. So I had to keep Bizzy because Bizzy is like my best little friend. She's been my best friend since day one. Like Clover, our relationship was formed after the fact. So both of these little girls are the ones that I'm keeping. Well, here's the thing. This is my first 3rd gen baby, right? So like her grandmama is my OG Buttercup, who's behind me. Buttercup, her first twins were Honey and Bee, and I kept them both. And then Bee had Bizzy. So like, I have to, right? And then Clover, I wasn't going to, y'all, but look at her. Like, she loves me. We're all besties. And these two are besties. Like, how could I not keep these two? Ow, you're gnawing on me. Anyway, they're my sweetsies. They're my sweet girls. So Clover and Bizzy are staying. Cricket is going down the road to one of my very good friends, and I'm so excited. And we will get to watch her grow up because she does have social media as well. So, hi girls, you can stay up here with me. Sometimes they come just like sleep in my lap. This one is the tiniest one. Anyway, I don't know what we're gonna do if I have to keep a Bella doeling as well, because like, I'm just gonna have too many babies. I'm just gonna have too many goats. I think we could probably end this video out with watching them play and possibly do some sliding, and maybe I'll open up this gate and let them all go run around in the front. So I hope y'all enjoyed this little baby update, and I hope you enjoyed this last little bit of the goaties. Stay tuned for more.